Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Journey of Awakening. I am your host, Alina, and I am here with Angelica and our very special guest, Linnea Star, today. We have a great show lined up for you, and hopefully, if we have time at the end, we might have a live reading. Angelica, would you like to continue?
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to have Linnea do a question or two if we have any viewers that are watching live.
Yes.
Um, we're so happy to have you. I have known you for many, many years,
Right.
and would you like to explain a little bit about how young you were when you recognized you were different than other people?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Nice to see the both of you, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share my gift. I was a little girl, about 4.5, and I used to hear things and see things. And the family was tuned into it because my mother's grandmother was a gifted medium. So they kind of encouraged it. And I was born with something called a caul, Caul. It's a membrane on an infant's face. And the legend has it if you are born with a caul, you have the gift of second sight. So throughout my childhood, it intensified. I heard things, saw things, and then into adulthood. I really felt the call to be a medium. And a lot of my things come true. I bring back people, I do retrocognition, I bring back the soul spirit. And I think the message that I'm trying to impart is that no matter what faith you are, hold on to it because there is eternal life and you do connect again with your loved ones.
Yeah, we like to tell people that too, because nothing really dies, does it? Our pets, our other human
Pets,
beings that we love.
people.
Nothing
Right.
really dies. It's just energy, I think, that shifts
Well, yeah,
forms.
if you look at what's his name? Einstein's theory of relativity, his major component is that all energy stays the same, no matter what it breaks down to, a tree, a rock, a piece of wood. When you get down to the transformation, it goes into energy, and the atoms, atoms, they still are there. So nothing is destroyed.
No,
It's
of
all
course not.
energy. Yeah,
It's all
of course.
energy, indeed. What is our consciousness but that, That's what it is. So
Yeah.
I've known you for a long time. We
Oh,
met
yeah. We have.
we
Uh-huh.
we we met on a blog talk radio show, which was
Right.
popular at that time.
Yeah.
And that's how we became acquainted because you were sometimes a guest on that show, and I was the producer for that
Right.
particular show. And it was interesting to me. Sometimes you'd come on and you'd talk about the saints because you're Catholic. You were raised Catholic,
Right.
but that has not interfered at all with your abilities to do what you do. And you've got quite a
Thank you.
following on your page. I did not realize that
Oh
until we
my
were
God,
trying
thank
to
you.
do this. I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's got a lot of people."
I think what's so nice is with my gift, I also have the gift of prophecy. So I can tell you something and it might come true. And that depends a lot on you. You're the master of your own destiny. But if I tell you something and it's evidentiary and you already know the background of the person I'm talking about, when you see the things that come true for you, you know that it was your soul spirit that was coming back to say, I'm still here. I'm watching over you. And that includes pets. Our pets are always around us and they want us to know that they're in eternal life. So it works out really well when things come true for people. And I predict a lot of babies. I see a lot of baby infant blessings, and a lot of those come true. And that's a very special component because here is the gift of life, and your loved ones in spirit will tell me about this. I usually get the date or around the correct date, and I sometimes get the gender, not always, but many children I've predicted, even in families that I predicted one child, I come back and I predict another child, and that happens. It comes true.
I do know that that happens with you, and likewise, I know that you sometimes help people when they are not well, when they're ill.
Right.
And can you explain, do you know the story about the man with the brain tumor that you helped?
Oh yes, yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's one of my best. He's a wonderful family. I met this family several years ago, and one of the gentlemen he wanted to reach his mother, and she said he has my clatter ring in his jacket, and he opened his jacket with the little pocket, and he took out her clatter ring. He had gone to the jeweler and picked it up that day. So a lot of things I saw for him, he realized what they were. And sadly, a couple of years later, the family called me. He was diagnosed with a glioblastoma, and that's usually a very difficult diagnosis to deal with. So I came to his house with a cousin of his, and I said to him, I'd like to prayer petition a saint to see if they might be able to help us. And a lot of people go to St. Jude, a lot of people go to St. Anthony, and what we decided upon was the Blessed Mother. He had a special affirmation from Our Lady, so we petitioned her, and I took him to a church in Winthrop to have a healing. And he went in with me and his cousin, and it's kind of called Capture the Rapture. The healer comes over, and it was a priest, and he touched him, and he said to my client, "Do you have a brain tumor?" And my client said, "I do." And the priest knew what side the tumor was on, and he said, "I'm going to try to help you." So we left, we went out to eat, and both gentlemen felt some kind of hope, because with this life, there's hope. So now that week, he goes back to his doctor at the Leahy Clinic, and they wanted an x ray. They hadn't seen him in a few weeks. And the doctor came running out, and he said, "What did you do?" And my client said, "No, I prayed." He said, "The tumor is half its size. I can operate on you now. I can do it." So they scheduled the surgery. They took out the glioblastoma, and this was 7 years ago, and he's glioblastoma free, which I felt was somewhat of a miracle, because the glioblastoma is a very, very difficult disease to recover from. He's doing well, and we keep in touch. And God was good. He listened to his prayer, and Bernie's doing really great.
Yeah, I've known several people with that particular type of brain tumor, and the success rate or the rate of not to continue on with your
Right?
life is very, very small. It's very
It's
small. I've never known anybody survive that.
Well, he was called a medical miracle. And he told the doctor, "I've been praying, prayer petitioning, and I think when you are that sick, you will ask a saint or God to help you recover." And in this instance, it worked, because he's fancy free. He had to retire, and that's okay, but he's doing really well for someone with that brain tumor. And now he went back for a follow up last summer, and they came out, the same doctor, and the doctor said, "Come with me. I want you to see this." He went into the x ray room, and there's the x ray of his area that was treated. You cannot see where the operation is.
That's
What
incredible.
whatever was there, they removed it, but your brain does not fill up an area that's been disturbed, and he has no, you can't see that there was anything in that part of the brain that hurt him. So he
I
was
I
thrilled.
know I know you have a favorite saint.
Yes, I do, St. Catherine Labouré. You know. Yeah,
I
I
do.
do.
That was a
Yeah,
trick question, but you got it still.
I got it. The reason, the reason she's wonderful. And a few years ago, a young boy in my community fell off an all-terrain vehicle.
Oh,
And sadly, he fractured several parts of his skull. He was on life support, and one of his friends, his mother's friends, contacted me. And I said to her, "You know what?" I said, "I do think he's going to wake up. I do think he's going to wake up. There's serious injury, of course. And I saw July 16th. This was in June. So I mentioned Catherine Labouré because that's actually her feast day. And my friend said to me, he's not responding. I said, no, they're going to try to help him. And I made a promise to the saint. You always publish that your wish came true. You donate to the Society of the Saint. So I told this saint, I will go to Paris. I will go to your shrine in Paris. And she's something called incorruptible. And it happens in Buddhism, Judaism,
Yeah,
Christianity.
I
The
know what
saint,
you mean.
yeah, the saint does not disintegrate. And back then
Nope.
they didn't have embalming. So anyway, he woke up on July 16th, the day that I said, and I got a phone call from somebody in Lebanon, Maine. That's where he was hospitalized. And I asked the woman, I said, why are you calling me? She said, everybody knows about what happened. That boy woke up. He woke up on the day you said. He eventually came home, long recovery. I wouldn't say there wasn't one, but I did go to Paris. I did go to her chapel. I did thank her, and we made a donation to her society. And she's
Wow.
involved with the miraculous medal. So
Wow.
he healed. He's now in college. And I think there are certain restrictions because of this fragile part of his skull, but I think he's doing great. So that's nice when it comes true.
You have a comment from one of our viewers who says that they were blessed to have this beautiful woman, you,
Oh,
in
thank you.
in their life. That her father in spirit brought you together, and it doesn't tell me. Her last name must be Stevens. Do you know who this is?
It sounds familiar to me. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do remember bringing her dad back to her. I do. Yeah.
that's
Thank her for
wonderful.
me. Thank
Oh,
her.
she can hear you. She's watching.
Oh, hi.
Surprise!
Thank you
It's
so
amazing how
much.
that works, this
Yeah,
crazy
because you don't say,
technology.
she can't see me, but I mean, I can't see her, but she can
Right.
see me, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But that's a lovely comment. Thank you for making that comment so
Thank
she
you.
would know
Yeah.
that you were watching. So
And,
yeah.
the other thing is, I think you and I were talking, and we agree that the world needs to have the substantiation that
Yes.
our loved ones are still there. We can't see
Yes.
them, but they send us signs. And I have a very lovely woman here today who's helping me. And she was in my house a couple of days ago, and she found a white feather on the
Oh.
floor. I have no windows are open, and I have, a paisley kind of rug. And she stood up and said, "Look, it's a white feather." I said, "It's your mom." And she kept it. Now, that night, I opened up a book somebody gave me to read, and St. Anthony fell out, a
Oh,
very wonderful saint. So I'm going to take it that her mother sent the feather, and I'm going to say that the universe sent her the little St. Anthony card. And I think that that was a boost to let her know that, guess what? We're with you. We're watching over you with light and love. And I think so many people need to have that substantiation.
this lady says it's Tammy in Florida.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Oh my God, she is just,
Mm.
I met her like, it has to be 20 years ago. I was doing a seminar in Leesburg, Florida, and I walked into a shop and she was in the shop. She was a manager. And we started to talk, and very, very nice lady. And she had a red candle on the jewelry case. I said, "Why don't you pour the wax in the water?" It's called, it's a divination form, soroscopy. So she poured the wax in, and it made the shape of a real heart, a human heart. So we
Wow.
took we took it out, and she's looking at it. I'm looking at it. She goes, "Linnea." I said, "What?" She said, "My father worked on the development of the artificial heart.
Oh my
That was his
goodness.
that was his life's work. His
Oh my
life's work."
goodness. She says
And
yes, yes, yes.
yeah, see, and it was just so mind-boggling because I didn't expect it. She didn't either. And she is just a lovely, lovely lady. We have connected again on some things. I brought her loved ones back. And oh, this is so cool. She has somebody in spirit, and he read me a poem. And it's the one by If I Can Stop One Heart from Breaking, I Shall Not Live in Vain. And if I could put one robin back to the nest, I shall not live in vain. And I said, you're going to hear that. It's something that he's sending you. So a couple of days later, she had the TV on, and somebody came on and read that poem. So
Oh, I
she
don't
heard
even
it.
know that poem.
Yeah, by Elizabeth. I think it's by, I could be wrong. I think it might be Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I could be wrong, but she said, she called me and she texted me and she said, I got the song. 2 days later, I got the song. I said, that was the message from the gentleman in spirit that wanted to reach you. Oh, give her my love. Tell her Happy
Oh,
Christmas.
she's listening. She's
Oh my
hearing you.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy that she made that connection with the wonderful relative that came back to say, I'm still with you.
Well, I think that you're right. People need to have confirmation that we
Right,
exist beyond the physical body, and
right,
they don't always pay attention to signs. There's signs all around people with a bird or a flower or a
right,
crystal or a, there could be any millions of things, butterfly or a hummingbird or,
right,
but people don't pay, or a feather. People don't pay, or the numbers 1111. When
right.
we
Angel
started, I
numbers.
looked up and
Right,
it was,
absolutely. Angel
yeah,
numbers. Yeah.
looked up, it was 1111 when we were talking to this nice lady. So, I mean, the answers people seek are all around them. They just don't pay attention. So I like to kind of point that out when I have an opportunity
Well, I
to do
think
so.
it's, yeah, it's educational. And the other thing is what you do and what I do is mentioned in the Bible. And it's in the Old Testament. And I do believe it's Moses that tells the congregation, if a stranger comes to you and you're able to give evidentiary, whatever it is, and if you can give them info you couldn't know personally, you are channeling the eternity of the spirit. You're being shown a bona fide connection with soul spirit. And I think whatever we believe in, we should all understand that this life is not the only life. We're in a body, but our
Yep.
soul will live on. And I think whatever religion you are, Judaism, Christianity, Muslim, each beautiful religion believes in the afterlife. And if you can connect with someone that means something to these people and the things come true, then you know that it was your loved one that came back to say, I watch over you with light and love.
Tammy says it was Emily Dickinson's poem, just so
Oh,
you
I'm
know.
sorry. Okay, I was wrong. I couldn't remember the author, but when she got it, it came on TV and she texted me right away. She said, I got it, I got it. So that was just so special for her. And I'm happy that I love when people get the things that the universe is telling me that they'll get. So, Tammy, happy holidays. Thank you so much.
She says absolutely,
Oh
100%,
my
she said.
God, thank you. Oh, wow.
So, you touch a lot of people. You work differently than I do. Most of my work is done digitally and online because
Okay,
it's easier for me to do that. But you
right,
actually have groups of people that have
right.
gatherings and you go to their houses or you have them, I don't know, however you do different things different ways, but you're able to um, see a group of people at one
Right.
time, which is a lot different than the way I work. Can you tell me or explain to people how that works? How you can, you know, even if they
Sure.
wanted to do like an online group where they have people at their house, but you're still where your living room is in, like this in Massachusetts or
Right.
something.
Yeah, right. Um, Luckily, a lot of the groups I see are very open to this. Sometimes not so much, but the majority of the time, I have people that are looking for a specific validity because they miss the pet or they miss the loved one. And what happens is I kind of hone in on your energy. I can pick up your aura. I can pick up things that the universe will show me. And not too long ago, I went to a home near me in Lynn. I live in Swampscott. And the woman answered the door. I didn't know her. And there was a little girl by the side of the door. And she was adorable. She was about 9 years old. And she had Shirley Temple curls. And she said, "They want to reach me." So I didn't say anything. I came in, I sat down, and there was a man looking from the kitchen to the dining room, and he wouldn't come in. And she said to me, "That's my father." She said, "Please tell him I know about the angel with my name on it." And I said, "She says the name Robin, Robyn." Well, the gentleman in the kitchen ran down the hall screaming, holding an angel for Christmas. And it said on the bottom, Robin, Robyn. He said, "I asked her." I said,
Oh,
"Come to me. Tell me you know about this angel." And I did. And the wife contacted me later and she said he was so flabbergasted because the very question he asked, she came back with the answer. So I think it changed his outlook that this is not the end. This is the beginning. When you go to God, it's eternal life.
another thing that you do that I haven't done and don't think I would like to do actually is you sometimes have worked with missing people or things like that. Haven't you done some of that work?
Yeah, I have. And actually, a couple of winters ago, I was in Maine, way, way up. New Brunswick, maybe. But I was way up, and it was a friend of mine that moved to Maine, and she got a group of people, and I went up to visit for the weekend. And one lady, I did her first, and I saw a woman behind her, and the woman looked like me. She was blonde, and she said, "That's my aunt. That's my aunt." So I said, "I have a blonde girl." She said, "My godchild." And I said, "She wants you to know that she's in the river." And she said, "They dragged that river for several weeks." I said,
Oh,
you're going to get your answer on September 21st." And this was August. So
oh,
September 15th came and the hostess texted me. She said they found skeletal remains in the river. It was stuck in some plant life. They
oh,
did the sadly, they did the DNA, and it turned out to be this lovely girl. And what she said is they have closure now. They know that I'm not going to come home, but she gave a lot of evidentiary. But the best part was she said they'll find me and they'll get my info by September 21st. And that's when the police, state police in her area, said, "We found her. The case is solved."
wow.
I think the aunt was happy because she said, "We miss her and we love her." Of course you do. But she said, "I wanted to know that she knew we were trying to find her and we didn't give up." So that was kind of nice because it was a disappearance, missing person. And I was able to tell them the date and where they would find the answers to their loss. So I think sometimes that gives closure to people, and it's not always happy news. I can't promise that. But if it is something of such magnitude, I think the families and the relatives can say, "Oh my God, she came back and she gave us something and it came true."
I just can't imagine having someone disappear and not knowing. I mean,
Right,
imagine a lifetime of not knowing what happened to that
right.
person. So if
And
you can even
yeah,
help one person like that, that's just
right.
amazing.
And I think it haunts you if you have a child, a relative, someone, and you don't know where they are. You don't know whether they're in trouble, they're sick, whatever it is. At least this lovely girl said, "I just want to bring closure. I want to bring closure." And she had a couple of children, and she said some things. The daughter's a teenager, and the little boy is 6. She said, "I want them to know I'm their angel." I
Aw,
live on and I'm their angel. And obviously, that's got to give some kind of comfort because it isn't that they just put you in the ground and you're not anything after that. And almost every religion is very open to heaven and finding our loved ones. And I think that message now in this timeline of the world, it really needs to reverberate. You really need to have that connection because with so many things going on in the world now, we have to follow our faith, whatever that may be. And I think the family was very pleased that it came true on the date that she told me.
that's amazing. I mean, it's
Thank
just
you.
amazing. I don't know if you know it, but St. Anthony's kind of my go-to guy. Talked to Siddhartha, of course, and some other
Uh-huh.
beings, but it is St.
Him.
Anthony that when I need something, when I really need something, it's like
He's
St.
awesome.
Anthony, this
Yeah.
is driving me crazy. Please help me find this thing. I can't.
Yeah.
And
I
he's
think the
good like
poem
that.
the poem is Saint Anthony be around. Something's lost and must be found. And
Yeah,
he
I
never
just
fails. Yeah, he's
no, he
great.
doesn't. I just use the word, please help me find it, and he does. He's so good. One day I cracked the back of my head while I was out with one of my friends on the way to an appointment somewhere, and I have that disease where people just bleed, bleed, bleed like Niagara Falls if they
Oh,
get like a
oh,
paper cut. So
oh
like
my
it was a
God.
mess. And I was glad my friend was kind of like a mother cat. She had everything in her car. She had, you know, the paper towels, the hand sanitizer, a bottle of water, all this stuff. So
Right.
she got me home in one piece, and I thought if I take a shower, I was afraid to shower by myself here in the house because I didn't know if I would open the cut up because it's pretty
Oh,
good size. I
right.
thought I won't shower today as much as I wanted to. I didn't, and I laid down on my sofa and as you know my cat, His Majesty
Oh,
Leo.
oh, I love him. He's like a buddy. He's adorable. I'm in love
he
with him.
always he always talks to Linnea on the phone, just so you know.
He purrs and
He
chirps. It's
does,
so
and
cute. Yeah.
chirps. He's a chirper. So he got on the pillows. He has his own stack of pillows above my head. So he laid on the pillows, but he kept watching something over my shoulder. And I kept thinking, and he can see stuff. So I'm thinking, what in the heck is he seeing? So I turn around and look, and there is St. Anthony in full body
Oh,
standing on the other side of
wow.
the room and that's what he was looking at. He
Oh,
just
he
kept
could
looking
see
and
it
looking.
too.
He could
Oh,
see it, and that's
amazing.
why I
Yeah.
looked because he was looking. I thought, "What the heck is he looking at?" And it was him, and he stayed all night. Because with a
Oh,
head
wow.
thing, you have to wake up every 2 hours in case you have a concussion, and so I set my phone, not that I needed it, because 'cause I'm usually up every 2 hours anyway, but he was there until, daybreak. He stayed there until
Oh,
daybreak, and I
oh
was
my
so impressed
God.
with that. I thought, "I didn't know he liked me that much."
Well,
What a surprise that was.
yeah, it's so nice when you have a faith that you intrinsically follow because they will recognize that and they will substantiate it by visiting you, by helping you in any situation that you need. And it's so nice when you see them because it's beyond human life. It's eternal life. And St. Anthony is always holding the infant Christ. He had a connection to the infant Christ. So he's also a protector. He will help out with children and he will help out with adults. And I'm going to say he has a very large following. In fact, there's a shrine in Boston and it's called Arch Street. When you come to visit, I would love to take you
Oh,
and
I'd love to go there.
Alina there. It's just so you walk in and you get the light, not the darkness, but you get the light. It's amazing. So
See,
good for you.
I'm not Catholic or anything, but I talk
Right,
to all of them. I talk to St. Anthony and St. Francis, and I talk to all the angels, and then I talk to all the Hindu people. I
right.
talk to
Hmm.
everyone because I can see all of them. So I don't.
Yeah.
My leanings are really Buddhist, that they really are more in that vein. But yeah, I'm not affiliated with any particular religion, but it is. I do like religions. People think that's weird that I like them, but I do like them because always in religion there's a thread of truth.
Well, the other thing is, it's a spiritual connection to many different ethnicities and religions. And if we all work together, and if we all have the gift of faith, I think we can conquer almost anything in our personal lives. And I'm just hoping that this connection we're making will enlighten some of the people that are watching to say this isn't the end. It can't be. And I have to thank you for having me here today because, as you know, I got very sick in
Yes,
2024, and they
yes.
weren't really sure. Yeah, they weren't really sure what was wrong, but something was wrong. And finally, one of the specialists came in after a week, and he said, I don't know how to tell you this. He said we might not have a recovery. And I said, okay. And there were just a lot of medical issues that he thought my immune system wouldn't let me get better. And I lost my sight. So I was
Oh,
blind from, yeah, I was blind from June until February. And I had a long talk with God. I really did. I said, if it's your wish, I would never change your wish. I said, it's not my wish. I said, so if you will let me recover, if you let me get better, I will continue the mediumship the way I have done since I knew that I had it. I had thought about giving it up. And then I thought, no, this is a gift that has to be shared. And it took 9 weeks, but in nine
it took a.
weeks, I left. I had gotten COVID too. But I have to say, the hospital was very surprised. They said, we didn't think. I said, neither did I. But he heard me, and you're helping me spread the message, which is what I said I would do. I said I would absolutely try to give people the messages that come and the prophecies that come true. And I have to say, especially with the babies, when I see a baby, that baby shows up. And the oldest baby I've predicted is now in college.
Oh
And
my
she's,
goodness.
yep, and she's 20. And she was born weighing a pound, and they didn't think she'd make it. And I had said to them, the baby will be small. She'll be in the hospital until she's about 2 months old. And she was a preemie. Came home and she took off flying. She's in college now, very beautiful. So that was my first baby prediction. So I really love that because who doesn't love children and who doesn't want a baby? I mean, so many people try and they can't. So I'm very pleased with that aspect of my gift. I think it's very, very monumental to tell you you're going to have a baby by June, and you do.
Yeah, that is miraculous in and of itself. That's just not something that we usually do, but on occasion, my friend has been very good about doing that. Then he
All
calls
right.
the
Mm-hmm.
children that he predicts our baby. I'm like, you gotta
Oh,
stop telling people we have a baby. That's not good.
I call my crowd star babies.
Oh,
Another
that's a
star
good thing.
baby shows up. And a lot of times too, sometimes a spouse will come with the wife. And sometimes men are not as conducive to what we do. You know that.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there going, no, that isn't going to happen. And then you give them the date and they have a baby by that date and it's the right gender. And the wife is like, my husband now is a believer. And I think that's what we're trying to do. It's not to upset you or frighten you, but it's to say to you, you do your life, that's your gift back to God. Then when it's our time to go to glory, we know that our loved ones are waiting for us at the gate of heaven.
Even if they're pets, the
And
pets
pets
wait
should
there
all,
sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, pets are always wanting you to know that they're right beside you. And sometimes your other pets will see this pet in spirit. The cat might meow and reach out for something, as we know, and dogs will bark to say, who's that in the corner? And it's just animals can pick up impressions very readily. And we know
Oh,
your little
yes.
guy does that all the time.
He sees everything. I mean, he really does. He sees that. And sometimes he's looking. I'm like, what's he looking at? I don't know.
Right?
So, do you want to tell us a little bit? Because today, a lot of the people I run into are having issues with what I would say, the darker things or evil things. Do you want to talk about your little run-ins with that not very
Yeah.
pleasant aspect of this?
Yeah,
Because you're
thank you.
brave. I mean, you're a
Oh,
brave person.
thank you. Um, when I turned 13, my father wanted to have a talk with me. I was about to make my communion. And confirmation, excuse me, and confirmation in a Catholic setting is you're taking the mantle of your religion and you're going forward to try to do what you should do and don't do things that you shouldn't do. So he and I talked, and he said, I want you to know that the kind of gift you have, there are other beings that will try to influence you. And he said, I want you to avoid that. So I always remembered that. And I went to do a group in Lowell. This is, a few years later. And when I came in the house, the woman was very upset. All the neighborhood dogs, every dog in the neighborhood was on the back porch
Oh
barking.
my.
And she looked at me and I looked at her because that's never happened. And I said to the dogs, I opened the door and I said, God says you should go home. All the dogs left. So she goes, what is that? I said, well, obviously there's something that shouldn't be here. So we went in, we did, a wonderful group, and I think she was pleased. I brought her father back, and what they wanted her to do was sage the house, holy candles, because there was a presence there that was not welcome. So I'm on my way home after I leave, and she hugged me and she said, please be careful driving. And she said, why did I say that? I said, I don't know. So I got on the Lowell connector to come back to my area, and I saw the sign that said Lowell connector, and I took that right. It was wrong. It was a one way. And I look up and I see all these cars coming at me, and I'm in the middle. And I heard, somebody yelled, U turn, U turn. So I did a U turn and I was able to get back to the right direction. Truck driver pulled up to me and he said, you had an angel. He said, with you. He said, so many people see that sign at night and they think they should do what you did. So I feel that my guardian angel kind of guided me home from the bad experience with the dogs on the back porch. So they're all around us, and we just need to ask them to help us. And I would suggest if you feel that your house is a little unsettled, you might want to do the sage. And you might want to get holy water, and you might want to have a priest, a minister, or a rabbi come to just bless your house and make it that only good things, good vibrations can come through, either your relatives or people you didn't know. Lots of times, people from the original homestead, they don't want to leave the homestead. So they'll come back and there'll be like a little presence in the house because your energy draws them back and they miss having that connection from their earth life.
Yeah, I would say for somebody like me, and probably like you, I just say, if you don't belong here, you can't come in. My house is
Right.
like psychic Fort Knox, you know.
That's right.
And
That's
this
right.
will make you laugh. I always put salt at the door, and I always
Right.
think it's funny. People say, well, like, what's that? Oh, it's salt. What do you put
Protection.
that for? And I say, oh, the
Right.
ants. It's the
Protect. Oh,
ants.
okay. But it's, yeah.
It's
Psychically,
ants.
it's,
It
yeah, it's
keeps
a
the ants away.
protection. That's right. Yeah. So the other thing is, if you have any religious amulets, religious objects like rosary beads or anything, that
Metals.
pertains to any metals that pertain to your faith, it's a nice thing to put those on display. You hang them on the wall, you put it in a personal space because that spiritual entity will protect your home from anything that would harm you. In fact, I'm not sure you're familiar with the Infant of Prague. Have you ever heard of that? It's the
Yes.
little, okay, it's the
Yes, somebody
little,
sent me a little statue of that, and you put
okay,
it
and you
facing
can
your front door,
yeah,
right?
and you can change the garments. They come in white, red, and green. And the reason that is a saint, it's the Prince of Peace. And what happened, I believe it was World War One, this little statue was on a huge altar in Prague, and every church was destroyed from bombs, and the only thing left standing after the war was completely finished was this infant of Prague, completely intact, didn't get a chip. And so the Pope at that time said, I want to make this Prince of Peace, and he made him a saint.
That's
So the infant of
amazing.
Prague is a protector.
I don't always understand. People give me a lot of interesting things. That's one of those interesting things. Somebody gave me one of the little
You
statue
have
like
one.
that. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's
I don't
great.
know what to. They said put it facing the front door, so it's on the mantle in the other room.
Yeah, and that's to protect anything that wouldn't be a good vibration from coming in to hurt or cast a bad spell on whatever you're doing. So it is a fascinating metaphysical melody. There's so many aspects of this, and the tarot deck, which I do you ever use the tarot deck? I'm not sure.
I have a lot of cards simply because I like the art on them. So I have a
Yes.
lot of different decks. But yes, I use the original deck, but I don't need to
No.
anymore. So I tend to teach it rather than use it.
Yeah, I bring them because some people are a little hesitant, but the tarot deck seems to open their energy for me. But it originally came from Egypt. The tarot was very holy in the Egyptian civilization, and they used it to divine and to tell the future. And then it got taken, I think, in the 15th century to France and then to Italy. And in Italy, it was called La Tarocchi, and it has a beautiful history, and it can be a guideline for somebody on a pathway. And usually it'll show you something that you're familiar with, or it'll tell you something you might consider doing, and it seems to be helpful to people. So I often use it with new groups that don't know me that well, but it is a fascinating repertoire. The metaphysical realm, it has so many vibrations.
Yes.
It's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, this lady wants to know, where do you get the statue of the Prince of Prague? And I believe that's Prougue as
Yeah,
opposed to PROG. Can she get it at one of the like Catholic online
yeah,
stores
can
or
can you
something
can you
like that?
ask yeah, can you ask what area she lives in? Does she live in Boston?
This is your friend in Florida, I believe.
In where?
Florida, the lady from
Oh,
Florida.
oh, Tammy. Okay, yeah. What you do is go to a Catholic gift store, and sometimes they'll say it's a spiritual gift store, and you can go in, and if you don't see what you would like, you can ask them. And you also can go online. You'll find a statue, you put the name in, Infant of Prague, and they will be able to assist you. So good luck with that.
Alina wanted to know where what you consider to be holy candles. Are they anointed candles, or are the ones they like the ones I have that have the picture of the saint on them? Where would you get those holy candles? She wants to know.
Yeah, the holy candles, especially the ones with the saints on it, they're very popular. And I think a lot of bodegas carry them. Up here, you can go in and see a cadre of all of them. And the other thing is, you can take your own candles, whatever candles you have, whether they're the white ones, red ones, and you can have them blessed by a priest or a minister or a rabbi. So putting that vibration also brings the candle power into your life, and it's a very positive spiritual process. But you can find them online, and they are beautiful, and she could try that. Good luck.
Yeah, I like that you can get most things online now that you couldn't get a long time ago. You can get,
That's right.
they're available online. So I'm always very happy about that.
Oh yeah, me too.
So I want to ask you two sort of related questions. The first
Okay.
question is, how did your parents, when you were growing up, And I know not everything is sunshine and roses, but how did they treat you because of your gift? Did they treat you differently than your sibling, or did were they aware enough of your gift that they accepted it? And the second part of that question is, if you met people today who have a gifted child, because I get this question a lot, how would you suggest they help that child if they have specific sort of gifts?
Right,
I don't like to call them gifts because my joke is gifts you can return, this you can't.
right. You can't.
If you
No,
come into the
no.
world with it, you got it. So, how do you suggest that they help the child by, in trying to raise this gifted child when they themselves may not actually be gifted and don't understand it?
Yeah, that's a really great observation because my father was like, what? And I used to tell him things. I was like 6 years old and it would come true. And he would say to my mother, what? What's going on? So one night they went out grocery shopping and my grandmother was watching me. And I had wanted roller skates. I wanted them so much. All my friends had the kind that you buckle on. And my father was like, no, we live on a main street. You'll get killed. No. So I kept asking. And so finally, this night, they go shopping. They came home, and I saw the roller skates over his head. And I said, you got me the skates. And he looked at my grandmother. He said, did you tell her? And my Nana said, no. And they did get the roller skates. They brought them in. And my father said, how do you do that? I said, the roller skates were over your head. So I think he began to understand it was something I couldn't control. And I think he would ask me for lottery numbers. I couldn't do that at the age I was. I can do it now with certain people. in fact, in fact, a lovely friend of mine, she was going to Aruba. And I said, let me look up the casinos there. And I looked them up, and there were several, about 10, 12. And I saw this one, a particular casino, and I said, you're supposed to go there and look for mermaids and seashells. So that night, she and her husband trotted over to that one. She won $1,600 on a penny machine.
Oh my gosh,
I'm in
that's a lot of
Boston.
pennies.
I've never been to Aruba. And she was like, oh my God. I said, yeah, it happens. They will tell us to do that. So it's a lot of fun when you have the believers because the believers are so open to what you're telling them. It's almost like, wait a minute. That was my grandmother. Oh, that was the street I grew up on. Oh my God. So, I mean, it's a different level of belief, but I think if you just open your heart to hear the things that are coming to us, I think it lets us know that this life is not the only life that we'll know. We'll know eternal life.
And that there is more than we can see or feel or touch or
That's right.
taste or any of
Right.
that stuff because it's the unseen, it's what is hidden that
Right.
is what we have to tap into really. And people like us do that all the time. I don't know how many times you probably were called crazy in your life, but I got that label quite often. But
Absolutely. Yep.
I kind of
Absolutely.
figure if it comes true, I can't be but so crazy, right?
Well, no, and I think part of our work, you do what I do, we have our own methodology. But I think if you can tell somebody something that you couldn't know, or you say something and it indeed comes true, then where is the difficulty in understanding that you made the connection to the other side? And it's a learning process. Not everybody will get it in the beginning, but once you have that ability to discern the truth, it changes your pathway forever.
It
You're never the
protects you
same,
and helps you in this life
right?
if you have that extra sense or two. Um, Tell people about your experience with Mother Teresa, Blessed Mother, or not, I mean,
Oh, the
Mother Teresa of
Mother
Calcutta.
Teresa.
I
Yes.
can't get my brain right this
Yeah.
morning.
Oh no, that's great. Thank you. My father was very sick with eye issues, and they were afraid to operate because his good eye, they were afraid if they took the occlusion out, it would affect his peripheral vision. He couldn't drive, couldn't read. So I prayer petitioned Saint Teresa, the little flower, and I said, please help us with my dad. Um, his eyesight's really bad. Could you help him? So I come to work the next day, and there's a memo on my desk. And what they said was, Mother Teresa is visiting the prison tomorrow. Mother Teresa, and you will be able to walk with her through the prison. Well, I almost passed out. Mother Teresa, Saint Teresa, who cares? It's a Teresa. So I met her. I met her, and she's this tiny, tiny little thing, so cute. And I told her about my dad, and she gave me white plastic rosary beads. She said, he's going to be fine. And I said, you think? She said, he's going to be fine. So she visited the inmates, very, very spiritual experience. And she was on her way to London to meet with Princess Diana. And she
Oh
said,
my.
I want all of you to pray for this. She said, we're asking for a donation to build a mission in London. We don't have the funds. So all of us said to her, of course, we'll do that. And I went to see my father the next night with the rosary beads. He went hotline to heaven. I said, well, I think so. And he had the surgery. And when they took the bandages off, he could see perfectly. I even brought the Reader's Digest. That's his favorite magazine. And he took it and read through it. And I was thrilled. And then Mother Teresa's accountant wrote to us at the prison, and she said, I got 11,000 pounds to build the mission. She said, soon as we landed in England, everybody was contributing. So she got her wish, and I certainly got mine.
That's amazing. I mean, that's
It was, yeah.
amazing because you've had
Yeah.
some really interesting experiences with people like that. Um,
Oh, yeah, you're right. And I mean, to see stuff like sometimes I'll say a street name, and that was where the person grew up. And sometimes I'll say a name that's different, and they'll say that was my grandfather, that was my grandmother. So when you can get something that pinpoints what you know, it's the universe's way of saying, guess what? This is not the end, it's the beginning.
so if people wanted to make contact with you, and you do other things too, you do a whole variety of
I
things.
do. You're
You
right.
do candle wax in water, you do cards, you do
Crystal.
photographs,
Yeah.
you do a lot of
I
different
do crystal
things.
ball. Right.
Crystal ball, that's right.
Yeah.
What if people wanted to contact you about anything that you do, how would they reach you?
Well, I have the Facebook page, which I really love because you get to say all the things that have happened and then people substantiate it. And that would be under no, it's Linnea Johansson, um, Medium on Facebook. And then I have an email they can connect to me, Linnea Star .light @gmail.com. So they could, email me, connect with me on Facebook. And I like them to look at the Facebook things because so many people will substantiate, like you're doing with some of the things you
Yes.
already know about. And that's the best thing because you want to show them it's real. How can it not be real? And I did ask when I was so sick, I did ask for something, and I never asked for me. I always ask for someone, a client, a friend, whatever. And I predicted two children. I don't want to say their names. I'll give you the nicknames. Punky Doodles and Brown Eyed Girl. So that's the name. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And I took care of them from infancy. The best thing I ever did. I was their nanny, and just so much fun with these kids. They're amazing. And now they're grown up. The young lady is a senior in college. I can't believe it. And the young gentleman is working for a wonderful company, and they love him. And he just bought a house. So I didn't want them to know how sick I was. They're kids, they don't need that. So when I was recovering, I got in touch with them and like, oh my God, we miss you. Mom says you're in the hospital. Oh my God. And so it was just nice to make that reconnection. And I said to God, if you could help me get better, I want to see where they go with their lives. One is 21 and one's almost he's 23. So I really wanted to see what they're going to do, and they're going to do great things. And God must have heard me because I recovered. Thank you, God.
I wasn't sure you would recover. I was very concerned about you because you dropped off the planet and I looked for you. I looked
Yeah.
for you and I
And
looked for you, not knowing where to find you. And
yeah.
so I'm really glad because we've had many years of
Oh, we got a lot
nice,
of, yeah.
interesting, long
Right.
conversations.
And we can compare notes because in your work with your gift and with me, we have a lot of crossovers that, oh my God, look at this. It happens. And your
Yeah,
gift also, too, is international. You have a lot of people
I do.
overseas, which I think is so incredible. I have some people in England, and then I did the English show on Facebook. We did reach a lot of different countries, and there was one instance where it was a college girl, and she wrote in to the radio show, and they read me the question. She's a young girl, 21. And I said, well, I said, I see France, Paris. And she was in India. I said, okay.
Wow.
I said, but you have somebody in Paris. I see a ring. And she said, my fiance lives in Paris. I said, and it was a grandmother, and the grandmother said, I know about the twins. And this girl went crazy. She went, oh my God, my fiance is an identical twin. Oh my God, oh my God. So it was just it was just so nice that this young girl, I think she's Muslim. And naturally I said, hold on to your faith. But your Nana wants to tell you she knows about the gentleman in Paris and she knows about your engagement and she's thrilled for you. And, this is a girl in India. I'm in Boston. Huh? What's
Right,
going on?
exactly. It's no time and
Uh,
space. There is no time and
No,
space.
it's energy.
This transcends all of that. It really does. Do you have one really captivating story about? I know sometimes somebody in spirit will say, tell them about this, whatever it is that they have in a drawer here or there, something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about? You sometimes
Yeah.
get people in
Hmm.
spirit saying they need to go look there for
Right.
that.
Yeah, I'm really, thank you. That's a fascinating aspect of this. I'm really able to locate jewelry. I can look at somebody, I can mention the type ring, bracelet, earrings. And not too long ago, I saw a gentleman, and gentlemen are not always open to this, and I understand. And it was his grandmother, excuse me, and she said, the ruby. And he said, we had her ruby ring. We don't know where it is. I said, she's shown me a bureau, and it was hers. He kept it. I said, open the top. It's an underwear drawer, and the ruby is under some of the lingerie. So he went home, did his thing, and he connected with me through text. He said, we did that the night we had seen you at an event, and he said, we found the ruby. We have it.
That is crazy.
So
That
he
is
was
so
happy, of course.
amazing.
And
Yeah,
the thing about jewelry is it has the energy of your loved one. So if you're wearing a ring that was important to someone, a bracelet, a necklace, what that does is it gives you a little bit of their aura energy. And it's like you carry them with you. And so
that's
I love that when people do it because the spirit world really loves when we remember them by that.
you have another question, which is, can you please tell me more about your crystal,
Oh, the crystal is so fun.
the
I
crystal
have a big,
ball?
yeah, the crystal ball. I have a big one, but when I go to events, I can't lug that around. It weighs about 20 pounds. But what happens is the client holds the crystal and I take a picture of it on a black background, and everybody gets something different. Nobody gets the same thing. Nobody. And it's really kind of cool because it's my crystal ball, but it's your phone. And I don't want anyone to think I have an app on the phone that does that. And so you can see the object that comes up and you have a picture of it, and it will last indefinitely. A lot of people really like that. I get faces. Sometimes I see brides. I'll see the figurine of a bride, and it's fascinating because you can't explain it. You can't. You just hold the crystal and take your picture. And this is a couple of years ago. I was at a coffee house in my neighborhood, and the young lady that I was speaking to, I had predicted a daughter of hers, and the daughter was like 14. So this client held the crystal, and we took a picture, and my name came out,
Oh,
Linnea, and it was in gold. And I
oh my,
showed her. She said, "That's you." I said, "Yeah." And so I've
that's
posted it
incredible.
before, but she was kind of taken aback, and I was too, because how did that happen? I'm not Walt Disney, but it happened. It just happened. So I don't know. It's a beautiful gift if it's received properly. You know what I mean? And
I do.
I think you are on a mission. I am on a mission. We're just
Yep.
trying to show the eternity of the soul. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and we like to help people shift their lives sometimes. That's an important thing.
That's right.
Before we move on, I'm going to take you down memory lane for 1 minute. You all right with
Okay.
that?
Yeah, sure. Of
So,
course.
Linnea was being represented by some people here in a town over our mountain here near me, and they invited her to come down and to do different things at different venues. And at that time, I was available to drive her places
Thank you.
in that town. Yeah, that was
Right.
fun. So I went
It
over and
was, yeah.
met her, and took her around to these different venues. Now, the last night, I think it was the last night, we were in some cute little studio. The lighting was beautiful. There
Yes,
weren't too
yes.
many of us. It was kind of atmospheric, and
Right.
it was an evening thing. And I did not have any clue that you were going to call on me, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of shook me up a little bit.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. It was fine. She just went down the line telling everybody something. And people I knew well that were representing her were a couple people up from me. And when she got to me, they looked down and they were like, "What is she talking about?" And then they asked me later,
Right.
"Who's that she saw standing behind you?" And I knew someone was standing behind me. Do you want to tell them the rest of that story? Do you remember?
I do. It was a gentleman, am I right?
Yep, yep.
And he was trying to be very, excuse me, quiet. He didn't want to upset you. And he kept showing me what he looked like. I think he had dark hair.
He was a pretty man.
Yeah, he said he was. Yeah, he said his face was his fortune. And there was a beautiful connection with the two of you. And he felt that you were a soulmate, twin flames. And he wanted to let you know, and you already know, his connection to you is forever and a day. He said, "There won't be a
Yes.
time that I will leave her. I won't leave." And that was such a declaration of love from him to you. And I'm sure in your dreams or in your gift, you've already picked up signs from him, but he wanted you to know that that sign is forever. He said, I'm not leaving her." And I
He
hope that
used
that,
Yeah,
oh,
he used to ride around with me in my car.
okay,
He would, and then you saw him, and I think he was coming to kind of step back a little bit because it opened the door for some other people to come through. But
right.
I think he wanted to get that message through you to me because
Yeah.
otherwise I might have ignored the whole thing.
Yeah. And I guess it's nice to know all our loved ones are with us. They're with
Yes,
us. They don't leave. And it's just amazing to make the connection to a grandmother, a father, a mother, a lover. I mean, then you know that you'll find them again in eternal life. This isn't the end. And that's what I love about my
right.
religion, because it says eternal life. So if I can get something that means something to you or yours, then you know your loved one has come back to say, tell them this, tell them this. And I try to do that. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Now let's bring Alina on,
Oh, sure. Great.
our producer, our little cute girl.
Right.
There she is. Can you
Hi.
put us in the three like that we had? No,
Uh,
keep trying.
Yeah, I can see you. Oh,
Yay!
cool. The three musketeers. That's great.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
uh, Alina is our test subject.
Okay.
So, you wanna work your magic on her a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. Why are they showing me New York around you? Do you have any
Hmm.
connection to New York City yet?
No, I've only been there once. I wasn't a fan.
All right. Well, it looks like it could have something to do with your work and also our lovely hostess too. There might be something in that venue. Um, I think you have a dog in spirit. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. How long did you have the lovely animal?
12 years.
Okay. So he is asking me about the month of December. What is December? Birthday, anniversary, passing? Do you have
Um,
anything in December?
December 21st. Actually, it was his litter, well, not litter mate, but his other pup that I had that passed away at 5. His birthday was December 21st.
All right. So I think so that other dog is also in spirit. So they're together. They're together.
Hmm.
Your dogs are together. And why do they say buddy? Do you have anything that says buddy on it?
Hmm. No, but they were buddies.
All right, we'll look for something with buddies on it. And I see good news around your mother from medical issues. So is she doing okay?
Yeah, she had an X-ray done. She was a little worried about that. They just said was arthritis, so she was relieved for that.
Okay. And is it in the chest area?
Uh, Back area, yeah.
All right. Well, they're telling me that there's good news around lungs. So if there's anything with lungs, it just says everything will work out. And where is your father, your dad?
He's still here, but he's in his late 80s and his health is kind of iffy.
All right. What town does he live in?
He lives in Marlborough, Massachusetts. I live with my parents
Oh, okay.
to
Because
help take care of them.
yeah, I'm not too far away from that area.
Yeah.
I live in Massachusetts too. There is something called a karmic blessing. Do you understand that? Do you know what it is?
No.
Well, karma is out there, and when we do what we should do for our loved ones, friends, you receive a karmic blessing because of your understanding and caring for the people you are. And not everyone does it. I'm not going to say they do, but you seem to be very connected to your parents, which is wonderful, and you're helping them. And it seems like when we get older, sadly, we become more childlike. And sometimes the children need to step up to kind of make their lives easier. And so I think the spirit world really likes what you're doing. And why
Hmm.
did they say Kelly? Do you have a Kelly around you yet?
No,
Well,
not yet.
I hear that as a doctor. Could be a doctor or a nurse. And are they changing medication for your lovely mom?
Yes.
Okay. And is she adjusting her diet a little bit
No,
nutritionally?
she's supposed to, but no, she's not.
Okay, well,
Whether
that's
she's
all right.
supposed to or doesn't are two kind of
Yeah.
separate things.
Yeah.
And thank you. And do you have a Buddha? Do you have a
Oh,
statue?
yes.
Okay. Well,
Right there.
Buddha is also a sign of peace. He was a prophet. Many things he did mirrored what Christ did. Very, very sincerely. He gave up all his worldly possessions, but they are telling me that whatever venue you're involved with will bring great financial success by next fall. So thank you. Good luck.
That's awesome. Thank you. That was
Thank
amazing. And
you.
you finished at 108.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
that's great. Thank you.
She did, 108. Yes, she did. That's
108.
funny.
Oh my
Hmm.
gosh.
Just
Okay.
as you were
I
speaking of him.
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
know if there are people watching. Do we have any people watching?
We have 3 people watching right now.
That's all.
Do any of our, well,
It
they've come and
fluctuates.
gone. I've
Yeah.
seen
Okay.
people pop in and pop out.
Right.
That happens. And there may be people on the replays that watch. That's generally what happens. So, does anybody want to ask a question since you have Linnea here at your total disposal? You
Yeah,
can
put it in the
type
chat if
it in the,
anyone.
yeah, put it in the chat.
That might take a minute for people to.
Do you have any
So-
questions you want to ask her?
Oh, actually, do you have a white Buddha at all? Anything with a white Buddha?
Is he white? Can you see him in the corner
I
back
have a
Oh,
there?
now
white
I
Buddha.
can. Yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah.
white Buddha. Okay.
I
Well,
have a
Buddhas are
white
good luck.
Buddha.
Buddhas are really good luck, and they mean the person who's showing it to me is at peace. Buddha is also peace.
Hmm. Tammy. Oh. No, where'd she
Oh, we
go?
lost her.
No.
Where'd you go?
Tammy
Oh,
just asked a
well,
question.
I wonder if her phone is unplugged again.
Oh no. Hopefully she figures it out. Let me see if I can get her.
I'm sorry about that, Tammy. We just had this technical interruption.
I hope her phone didn't die on her.
She just texted us. Can you read the text?
I text her.
Oh,
All right, let's see. We'll give her a second to try to come back on. No. We were doing so well.
yeah. Don't go anywhere, Tammy. You may have, you may, you may be our only question asker. So we would like you to stay on. Thank you for
Hopefully.
joining us today, by
Yes,
the way.
everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Now it's
Let's see.
1111.
Mm-hmm. It might be my
Oh,
son playing tricks.
that's really funny.
Oh,
Did you get her back?
not yet.
Thank
She.
you for enjoying listening to us. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, we have some new people here. Very cool.
Yeah. This is the lady from New York, I think, that said she enjoyed listening. Thank
Well,
you
does
so
anyone
much.
have a question for Angelica while we're waiting for Linnea to come back? Got 111.
It is 111. Funny. 111, by the way, is a common number that you might see that's an angelic number. It's usually Michael's number. Yes, Carolyn. Oh, is this our Carolyn in New York?
That's our Carolyn. Ask us a question,
Yay!
Carolyn.
Yeah, ask us one.
Well, maybe that's why New York came through because she was here.
You know what? That could be.
Mm-hmm.
You want to try to call her again?
Okay. I'm going to step out. Let me see if I can get her.
Okay. Well, Carolyn, ask a question. Carolyn is one of our students back in the summertime. We're glad that you came on, by the way. It's nice to see you. It's always nice to see you. And I'm glad you're listening to Tammy. And I don't know who the third person is, but if the third person is on and you'd like to make comment, that'd be great. I do. Tammy's asking if I see any special animals around you. I feel like you have a totem animal. I don't know if you know what that is, but sometimes people have animals for guides, and I feel like it's a big cat. I feel like it's a big cat. Let me see. I feel like let me go back to Tammy for a second. It feels to me,
Thank you,
Tammy.
Colleen.
Have
a safe trip.
I have
Thank
her here. She doesn't think she's going to be able to get her audio back, but I
can hear her.
yeah, so she can speak through my phone.
I can't
Okay,
see
so
her though.
can you thank the two of you for an outstanding venue? And would you thank all the people that listened and wrote in? And I'm just so thrilled that we got to spend this special time to show the eternity of the soul. And I can't thank you enough. This was awesome.
Let her know that Tammy's question was, how is Matt doing, I think. And then
Her son, right.
and she asked me if I saw any animals around her. I feel like she has a totem animal that is a cat, a big cat, a lion probably.
Well, she probably does. She was very devoted to her fur babies, but she can connect with me on Facebook and I can try to see if I pick anything up.
Okay, we can do that too. And
thank you, ladies. Have a great day and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Linnea.
I know.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm sorry that was such an abrupt ending there, people. And
technical difficulties.
let's see, Carolyn.
Oh, I really I think that question that New York might have been for her.
That could be.
Right?
I don't know if you would like New York City, Carolyn, but I think you'd do well wherever you move because you're very calm. Well, that's a big cat. That's a. Is this Tammy? Yeah, that's Tammy. Tammy, it's it feels like a big cat to me. But you can have totem animals.
Grandpa's nickname was Cougar, so.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so that could be a reference to that.
I actually see a big lion around her, like it's a totem animal. See, a totem animal is like a guide, but he comes in an animal form sometimes. And usually lions in particular are like strength and grace and power and protection. So you have that energy around you, whether, if you want to think of it as a cat or a Archangel Michael's kind of like that too, just so you know. But I guess we have come to the end of our broadcast.
Yes.
Looks like we have 4 people on now.
Thank you everyone for watching us and being here.
Yes, we're glad. And next month we'll start again. We will broadcast the first and third Fridays of every month. We'll usually have another guest. Sometimes I might come on and just the son's name is Beast. That's funny. And thank you, Carolyn, for that. I appreciate that. I'm glad if you didn't get to see Michael Langevin first, he was in our first broadcast. Go back and watch that. It's quite entertaining, It's quite entertaining. But anyway, so we will be live on the first Friday. Right now, we think our guest is going to be Laura Star, but hopefully I can be on her podcast and then we flip to this one. So that might be very entertaining, maybe technically challenging too. We'll see how that works out.
It's going to get better.
I hope so. So we love trying to do this. It's been a lot of fun and I wanted to have fun doing this, right? I wanted to have fun.
Tammy, if you subscribe to our channel, you'll get a notification when we're going to go live, and I'll advertise before too.
Yeah, we usually do advertise on our pages, so you can connect with our pages. And we're hoping we're going to find a way to upload this to Linnea's YouTube as well, if we can figure out how to do that.
Yes.
So, Carolyn, if you want to move to New York City, you should do that.
I think she wrote from New York. To move from.
Oh, would you read that question? I thought it said to.
I wonder if my family is okay and if it'll be good for me to move from New York City soon.
Oh, I think moving away from New York City is a much better idea than moving there, for sure.
I agree. The energy when I went there was very intense.
Well, and she's quiet. Carolyn is a very quiet person, so you don't need all that frenetic craziness that goes on in a big city like that. I went back to our capital city, which I lived in off and on for 10 years, of Richmond here in Virginia. And when I went back, someone took me back to go to an art exhibit there. And I'm never fond of the museum they have in that town. But anyway, I went back to this exhibit. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stay there the entire day. I just couldn't. I was totally overwhelmed by it. It was like super loud to me because I was hearing what other people usually don't hear. And by the time I got home, I was exhausted. I mean, exhausted. Yeah, I bet you've been bombarded. And yeah, you need a place more quiet. Right now, I live in a little town and I'm ready to move out of the little town up on our mountain or someplace that has trees and sky. That's where I want to move to. So I understand. So I think if you can move, do it. That's a great thing to do. I'm sorry I just didn't read that properly. It happens because the print is so tiny and, I'm old and need glasses. So there we go. So we thank all of you for coming today, and we hope you'll join us the first Friday. I don't know what date that is, but the first Friday of January. Also, be aware we're having a candlelight, no, it's a tea ceremony on probably January 1st to wish out the old year, bring in the new year. Siddhartha will be doing that ceremony, and he likes to. I used to do the ceremony, and he decided he wanted to do it, and I thought that doesn't sound like a good idea to me, but we tried it, we practiced with it, and he's pretty good at it. So you can find information about that when it comes up on the Star directory or on my page, maybe on Dawn's page too. If you want to join us, we'd be happy to have you. Angelica Blackmoon, and you are on as
Alina Moon.
Alina Moon. There you go. So hopefully that will help you. Anything else? Anyone else have any more questions? We've got a fifth person now. People are coming. That's funny.
Coming in and out.
That's very funny.
All right.
Well, I guess not. So we want you to enjoy your day. It's very windy here where I'm at. I don't know about where you're at, but it's very windy here. And it's not as cold, though. That's kind of nice that it's not as cold. So go out and enjoy your day if you can get out a little bit in the sun. And if it's not too cold where you are, please do. And we hope we see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste.